Welcome to Shape of the City. I'm Jessie Coffey, your host. With summer break here, no school typically means no homework, and for some kids, no school can also mean little or no nutritious meals. And that's where the summer food service program comes in. Mike Heyl from the Lancaster County Health Department and Beth Menhusen from United Methodist Church are here to tell us all about their work in this very important program. So for Mike, what exactly is the summer food service program and how does it work?
The Summer Food Service Program is basically an extension of the School Nutrition Services Program, or what used to be called the School Lunch Program. During the school year, families that have low enough income qualify for either free or reduced meals, and that helps out a lot of families get their children a nutritious meal a couple times a day. Some of the schools, they can get breakfast, lunch, a snack, even an evening meal. But when school lets out, we don't know if those low-income kids are getting any food, let alone nutritious food. And so the Summer Food Service Program allows an organization like the Health Department to step in and sponsor summer food sites like United Methodist Church, where kids can come and get a breakfast or a lunch, or in some sites, breakfast and lunch during that period when school lets out until it starts again.
So how has the program grown over the years since you've been involved?
15 years ago, when I picked up the program, the department's had it for about 37 or 38 years. 15 years ago, we were operating at about 25 sites. We fed kids for 8 weeks, Monday through Friday, and we distributed a total of about 30,000 meals. Last summer, we operated for just short of 12 weeks. We operated 42 sites, and we gave out just short of 102,000 meals. And as the city's grown, we've also seen a growth in our program. It kind of reflects what LPS has seen with their enrollment. A few years ago, LPS's total enrollment percentage of free and reduced was probably in the low 30% range. This last year, they were in the upper 40s out of all their students.
So who is eligible for the program and how can the children participate?
Any of our sites, any of our 42 sites or more possibly this summer, any child between the ages of 1 and 18 years of age can show up at a site during the operation. So each site has different serving times for breakfast and for lunch. Most of our sites do breakfast and lunch, and a lot of the sites are tied into existing summer programs because that's the magnet for the kids to come. Just free food alone doesn't always draw the kids, but that supervision, that a chance to work with a mentor like at a church or the Salvation Army or the Boys and Girls Club or a summer program at an elementary school. The kids show up during that time. They have usually about a half hour to 45 minutes that they can get a breakfast. They have about 1 hour to an hour and a half to get lunch. But they have to agree to stay on site and eat the meal. They can't share the meals. They have to take the whole meal, and then they just come and have lunch and breakfast with us.
Great. So why is a program like this so important in Lincoln?
Lincoln has a significantly large number of low-income families. We don't always see poverty. Lincoln hides its poverty very well. We know they're there. The schools, primarily the elementary schools, see the majority of it. But we are seeing more and more middle schools and high schools that have over 50% of the enrollment for the whole building qualify for free and reduced. It's those boundaries that we want to get into. We know the kids are there. If LPS has an enrollment of, say, 40,000 kids, we know that upwards of 20,000 might be eligible. And during the summer, we see 4,000 on a good summer. We would like to see more. We could definitely see more. But it's summertime, and it's an unstructured time for the kids, and they come and they go. They don't always get drawn to the programs, but the ones that can come to the programs, we like to help out.
So this sounds like it's a lot of work and a lot of coordination, and so the health department probably can't do it all by yourself. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell us a little bit about some of your program partners?
The biggest partner is Lincoln Public Schools. They work with us to develop menus that have to be approved by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, who oversees the program on the federal level. The Nebraska Department of Education Nutrition Services has dietitians that oversee the program at the state level. So working with those two right away as far as getting guidance for what we can and can't do, because the rules do change every summer. and getting the food made, those are probably the biggest ones. The other partners are places like Christ United Methodist Church, Boys and Girls Club, Salvation Army, a number of elementary and middle schools. We do park and rec sites, but those are the partners that they're really the unsung heroes, because they're drawing the kids every day. They're mentoring the kids. They're working with the kids on reading programs, math programs, recreational programs. We just agree with them to bring them free food, and if they can follow the USDA rules, we'd be more than happy to work with them to provide it. But they have to be in those identifiable boundaries. We have to concentrate our efforts in those areas where there's a large number of low-income kids, and that's where we use the LPS boundaries. So having them identify those for us helps a ton.
So now, are children allowed to come by themselves or with a parent? Does it matter?
Some sites are drop-off sites. The kids are there first thing in the morning when the staff shows up. Other sites, parents are there while the kids eat. They'll leave and then they'll come back with the kids. A lot of it just kind of depends on the family situation and on the site in the neighborhood. Some of our neighborhoods where we have overlapping of schools, like up in the northwest part of town, we've got Goodrich Elementary that has a large number of kids that qualify. We have Belmont Elementary that has a large number of kids that qualify, and we have Campbell Elementary. I'll have feeding sites at Lauren Isley Library, Campbell, Belmont Elementary, Belmont Community School, and Goodrich Elementary. Because between staff and size and time, they can't possibly feed 1,200 kids that live in that neighborhood. But the smaller sites can get those kids in, and that helps.
Great. So for Beth, how long has Christ United Methodist Church been involved with the program?
This is the second year that Christ UMC has been participating in the program.
And where are you located, and who do you typically see coming into your facility to participate in the program?
So we're at 45th and A Streets here in Lincoln, and we typically see the kids that are involved in our summer daycare program, as well as kids that walk to us from the neighborhood, sometimes with parents.
And then how many kids do you see on a given day for breakfast and then for lunch?
We just serve lunch right now at our site, and we see about 30 kids each day that come for lunch.
And what has been the response you've seen from both children and their families about the program now that you're sort of newly offering it at your location?
Yeah, everybody seems really pleased with the program. They like coming and having a nice space to eat lunch in, and a cool place with air conditioning is what I've heard from a lot of them. It was really neat. Last summer we had a family come in that they came for lunch, but then they found our church library, and they started checking out books every day and talking to the staff, and they really appreciated that opportunity as well.
Yeah, that's a great enrichment opportunity for families. What barriers do you see that keep children from coming to the program in your area?
I think the biggest barrier is probably just knowing that it's there. We're excited. Mike got us a big sign to put in our front yard this year, so hopefully that gets the word out a little more. And also transportation. I think some parents, probably rightly so, are uncomfortable with kids walking by themselves, but then kids might not have another way to get there if mom and dad are at work during the day. So getting the kids there is, I think, the biggest challenge.
One of the biggest challenges we see across all of our sites is actually the benefit of summer. Summer's a very unstructured time. They don't have to be to school at a specific time. They don't have to stay on campus all day. And a lot of these kids come from unsupervised homes. The parents are working different hours, different shifts. And during the summer, they're basically told, go ahead and entertain yourself. And they don't know about programs like at Christ United Methodist or our other sites. And so the kids aren't under that guidance to come and be there for a certain amount of time. And so they might start off, they end up at a friend's house, or they sleep in and they miss a breakfast serving time. That's a rule we'd like to see go away, that we could just have food on site, and then when the kids show up, they'd have a choice of things to eat. But right now, the rules as they are at the federal level, there's a designated serving time for breakfast and another serving time for lunch. And the kids aren't always punctual about coming at those times.
Sure. So where can viewers go to find out about all the different sites that are located across Lincoln and those very important serving times that each site has.
The City of Lincoln through the and the Lincoln Lancaster County Health Department through the City of Lincoln has a web page. You can go to the Health Department's web page, click on Summer Food. It'll have a listing of the sites. It'll have the site supervisors' names and phone numbers. And if kids have never gone to a site, we encourage them to call ahead. Our site supervisors get comfortable knowing that 30, 35 kids are going to show up, and then 5 more show up, and they're scrambling to find the food to cover it. Because they're very efficient in what they order. They don't want to have a lot of extra food sitting around and getting wasted or spoiled. So they control their numbers. But calling a site, telling them that you're going to come, start coming is a good way. We also have a map that you can click on and see all the sites. Right now, I would tell you we have probably 42 for this summer, but if the late coming ones get certified by the state, there may be as many as 50 sites across Lincoln this summer, which would be the biggest summer we've ever had.
That's an amazing number. Wow, exciting. Well, I want to thank both of you for the great work that you're doing to feed kids in the summer, and good luck in all your efforts with the summer food program.
Thank you.
Thanks.